What would you do if your friends pulled a prank that ended someone's life and blamed it all on you? My friend group spent months planning our senior prank, and I spent those same months telling them it was the dumbest idea I'd ever heard. The ringleader was my best friend Santos, who decided our legacy would be putting Principal Wang's car on the school roof using a construction crane. I kept pointing out the obvious problems with this plan. The roof might collapse, someone could get hurt, we'd all get arrested, but Santos had watched YouTube videos of other schools doing it, and he'd found some guy who could operate a crane for $200. The rest of our group thought it was genius. Every time we met to plan, I was the only one saying we shouldn't do it. Santos would roll his eyes and tell me I was being paranoid. The roof is solid, he'd say, like he was suddenly a structural engineer. I was outvoted 6-1 every single time. The night of the prank, I showed up at the school parking lot at 2 in the morning, hoping I could still stop them. They were all there waiting. The crane was already set up with some sketchy 20-year-old guy in the driver's seat. Principal Wang's car was hooked up and ready to go. I immediately started yelling that this was insane, and someone was going to get seriously hurt or killed. Santos told me to either help or leave. I refused to leave because I genuinely thought they might hurt themselves. We argued in that parking lot for over an hour. I told them the roof wouldn't support the weight of a car. I told them they were being reckless and stupid. I threatened to call the police. Finally, Santos threw his hands up. Fine, you win. We won't do it. Are you happy now? I made all of them promise they wouldn't put the car on the roof. Every single one of them looked me in the eye and promised. The crane operator packed up and left. Everyone went home. I drove away thinking I'd actually stop them from doing something horrible. The next morning, I pulled into the school parking lot and saw police cars everywhere. My stomach completely dropped. There was a massive hole in the roof above the main building. Principal Wang's car was sticking halfway out of the collapsed section like some kind of nightmare. Ambulances and fire trucks were parked all over the place. I watched them carry out a body bag on a stretcher. The school janitor had come in early that morning to clean and was working directly under where the roof collapsed. The car fell right on top of him. He died instantly. A detective pulled me aside and asked me questions about last night. I told him everything. My friends planned the prank, but I stopped them. They promised they wouldn't do it. Then he showed me his phone, screenshots from Santos's messages, texts between me and Santos where I was supposedly pressuring him to help with the prank, saying it would be legendary, that I'd already paid the crane operator. I stared at them in complete shock. Those are fake, I said. I never sent any of those messages, but they looked completely real with timestamps and everything. The detective told me all my friends were telling the same story, that I was obsessed with this prank, that I planned everything and knew the crane operator, that I wouldn't listen when they begged me not to do it. They said they only showed up last night to try to stop me one last time. I had no proof of what actually happened because all our conversations were in person. My parents couldn't afford a real lawyer, so I got stuck with a public defender who looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Santos's dad was a lawyer and coached all of them on exactly what to say. The trial started 3 months later. One by one, every single person I thought was my friend took the stand and lied under oath. Santos actually cried while talking about how hard he tried to be a good friend and stop this tragedy from happening. They showed the jury the fake text messages. The prosecutor called me a reckless kid who caused a man to lose his life because I wanted to be remembered. My public defender barely asked any questions. After 2 weeks of testimony, the jury went to deliberate. I sat in that courtroom watching them file out, knowing that 6 people who were supposed to be my best friends had just destroyed my entire life to save themselves. But when the jury came out, I found out my lawyer actually had one last trick up his sleeve. Full story on the channel below.